Hey guys, I've got a 10-minute game on the board. My opponent is rated, I think, just under 1,000, so I'm just going to do something crazy. I don't know what this is, don't know what it's called, but I'm just going to mix things up and make myself have to respond in new ways. Okay, now I can play e5. So this is like the centre game. White can take. I can recapture with the knight. It'd be worth looking this up later on, but knight to c6, who knows? It's not the ideal knight to move because, okay, let's take on there. So if I'm playing somebody under 1,000, what do we want to be looking out for? Hanging pieces, and generally I think being open to fairly straightforward tactical issues, like pins, forks, that kind of thing. And I'd like to see him complete his development pretty quickly. Good, nice to see him castling, that's good. Okay, let's bring the bishop out. I think bishop to here adds a second defender to the pawn. He actually had two attackers there, and I only had the one defender with the knight, so he could have gone ahead and captured if he wished to. So counting attackers and defenders, basic tactics again. Once you get to grips with these things and you kind of spot them most of the time, that's when you get beyond like 1,000 rated, and then it just becomes a slightly different game. Then initiative and things like that start to be more important. Okay, I'm just going to grab the pawn. I want to castle pretty soon. I want to get my light squared bishop out, and maybe I might fianchetto the bishop, or I might just play d6, pin the knight. That might be an idea as well. Okay, so let's castle the king. King safety always comes first. Okay, bishop on bishop action. I'm inclined just to drop back. I'll pre-move the recapture with the a pawn. Okay, we have a pawn rushing down the board. Okay, this square is not protected at all, so I'm going to maybe go here. I think that looks right. If the pawn comes down, I can always take. If queen takes queen, I've got rook takes queen. So it's generally a good idea, whatever kind of time format you're playing, and I really don't recommend that people who are beginners or improvers really play blitz. You should really start at 10 minutes, ideally 15 plus 10 or 30 minutes. Try and use your opponent's time to scan the whole board. Okay, so one thing that I'll do sometimes is I'll identify any hanging pieces or any undefended pieces. Okay, so if bishop wants to come in there, actually I think that it makes sense for me now to capture on there. It means he's going to have these doubled isolated pawns on the e-file. I think that's right. And then I might centralise my rook and maybe think about taking on e5. Looks okay. I do have to be conscious that he's now got a semi-open file on the f file. But this knight isn't going to be moving out of the way anytime soon. Those two squares are covered by my queen. This square, could maybe take it with my knight, but it's not a huge threat at this point in time. Also, this bishop isn't really threatening much, and it's blocked in now by this pawn behind it. Okay, I have a fork here. I could fork the queen and bishop. Then queen moves, I take bishop. Queen can't go to there, so the queen can't really defend the bishop. Queen goes there. No, queen can't go there either. Okay, let's try that. I've also now got two attackers versus one defender on e5, so I might go ahead and do that. If the queen comes here, I have a fork. So you see, what I'm doing is I'm anticipating what my opponent might do. So I'm using his time to prepare my ideas. Now I don't know exactly what he's going to do. I'm pretty sure he's going to move his queen. But if my knight goes there, I need to be conscious that if the queen ends up on any of these squares, then I can have a fork. Okay, so the queen hasn't done that. I could... Okay, that's good. So white's found the only square where the queen defends the bishop. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is just... yeah, that could be an issue. So if I go in there, king has to move, but then where does my knight go? It's kind of run out of safety. So I think I'll just take. Queen recaptures or pawn recaptures, and I can still... If queen recaptures, I could even take with a take this pawn with a rook. No, I can't. This is covered once. In fact, if queen recaptures, there are now two defenders on the pawn. So that will change my plans. Queen recaptures, just a6, kick the queen, gain some time. I'm nearly 2 minutes ahead at this point. Okay, so he's gone with the pawn. So I'm going to capture there with the knight. I need to be conscious about this vulnerable f7 square. So I've got rooks, I've got put the pawn there. That's not a bad idea actually. I think d6, bishop c6 protects that light square diagonal. In fact, he's got knight. Okay, knight takes, rook takes, bang, queen to there. Not good. Okay, I'm just gonna grab his knight. I want to simplify this and protect myself, because that really was a risk against f7, partly caused by moving my rook out. I moved my rook out when, in fact I might have moved the rook first, but we've got two things. We've got like we mentioned before, semi-open f-file, and then I moved my rook to e8, which might have been premature. I could move d5 because it's protected by the queen, d5, and then put my bishop in there. That will make a nice strong chain. So the bishop is then in playing a role that is sometimes called a tall pawn. Right, so if that, knight can't come there, not there really, gets taken by a pawn. Could come here, no, because queen takes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead with that idea. Puts the question to white. This is a 10-minute game, so we're kind of borderline between... 10 minutes used to be blitz on chess.com until a few months ago. It used to be counted as the blitz time control, but now it's been moved to rapid. Okay, now I could there take with the pawn, or I could simply move my king to one side. So I take with the pawn, let's say he checks, then I move out of the way. Could be alright. Okay, let's do it. Let's see what he's got. I can move, put my rook on there. I want to get my bishop off there to release this other rook as well onto the back rank. I think I should be safe enough. I now have an extra bishop, of course. So I'm thinking this move looks good. I'll probably be playing this. Yep, it's the only move. But has the queen? Is the queen got time to get into there? Because I can now play rook g8. So I've got some cover there with also the queen and the king as defenders. So he would need 4 attackers to overwhelm me, and he doesn't have 4. He's only got 3 on the board. So I'm feeling relatively safe. Another thing is that my bishop is covering this square still, so he can't really double up. He can't put his rook there, 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 or there. Okay, so now what's he thinking? Is he thinking queen? So rook h3. Okay, I'm just going to push this pawn forward, block the queen's ideas of, block the queen from seeing h7. So now he can play this rook across if he wants, but doesn't really help him. Then I can maybe bring my queen out. and come back to for the defence. So this has been a solid game so far. I think maybe the knight sacrifice in a longer time format, if you'd had time to really calculate it and think it through, I don't think it's paying off, but I'm prepared to be surprised and humiliated. Okay, I'll take with the d pawn. Maintains this nice block against h7. Still thinking about bringing my queen maybe to here. I could even bring my rook across. Okay, come in with check. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, whew, f6. f6 works. Good, you had me going for a moment there. Thought I'd been just about mated. Whew. Okay. He's down under 3 minutes now, but that was a very good effort. Let's look at that again. Yeah. If I hadn't had the f-pawn there, so that was not good on my part for missing that as a threat. I'm thinking that maybe rook g8 and try and swap off and simplify might be in my best interests right now. I have to be careful. The queen is the only defender of f6. Okay, these are the things you need to be talking to yourself about as you go. Queen is the only defender of f6. I cannot abandon f6. It's critical. Actually, it's not the only defender of f6. There's a rook as well. I imagine everyone sitting there at home going, dude's tired. What's wrong with this guy? They're shouting. They're spitting their breakfast cereal at the screen saying, dumbass, you've got 2 defenders on there. Okay. Oh, has he moved? What's he done? Oh, okay. So he's moved his rook across. That's fine. I'm just going to put my queen here. Completely missed that. I was too busy talking to you. You're putting me off my game. Okay, I think bishop's going to come off the back rank now. Also covering the g8 square. Looks good. Could bring my rook across and just try and get rid of these 2 rooks. I should be safe. Safe now. Still defended. Every move you want to be looking for undefended pieces. Okay, what have I got that's undefended? That pawn. I don't care about that pawn. I just care about not getting checkmated by this guy. So I'm well up on time. So if I need to, I can use my time. But now I'm happy that I've got my back rank clear. The bishop's vacated. My queen's off the back rank. I've got plenty of defenders in this corner. So I think my opponent's attack has now come to an end. And this knight sacrifice was in vain. Alright, what are you going to do? I'm going to play rook g8. Any simplification is good, and if takes, I'm just going to I'll pre-move the recapture. Recaptures are generally the only moves that I'll ever pre-move. But really, in a 10-minute game, you shouldn't be pre-moving too much unless you're, looking to dash a pawn to the line or get a king running around before it can get checkmated by your opponent's queen. Stuff like that. Oh, he's taken there. Okay, that's fine. I'll just capture. Same deal. If he takes, I can even take with the bishop as well. So now you see he's simply running out of enough pieces. He hasn't got enough pieces to checkmate me. Alright. Have I got any attacking options? Oh, I've got queen to there, but just get taken. That's my only check, I think. I'm just going to simplify down. Queen captures. I do have a check there, and I can also potentially bring in my rook. I need to be careful that I don't screw up. But I think my rook is not required for duty at this particular time. If I can ever persuade the king onto the light square as well, I have this discovery. Let's check. That'd be really cool. Okay, let's try and swap off the queens. I think capturing on c7 would be a bad idea at this point. He can't win the game with that capture. Oh, he can't anyway, because the queen will take him. There you go. Don't play chess when you're tired, kids. It's been a very long day. Don't play when you're tired. Don't play when you've had a drink. Don't play when you're high. Don't copy Beth Harmon, right? If you've seen The Queen's Gambit, the idea of playing like a genius chess player when you're on tranquilizers is just a dumb idea, right? You don't want any downers. That's why, you know, when you watch like Eric Rosen and John Bartholomew make their videos, they're like necking coffee or tea or something like that. No, you need your brain working at its full capacity. Okay, there we go. We've timed out, but do you know what? That was a good game. Dude played well. Edward, well played, my friend. And I hope this has been useful for you. Hope you've had fun just watching this short game, and see you very soon.